Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a new video for you, an eyeshadow video. I am starting this eyeshadow series because I feel like there's a lot of eyeshadow palettes that I have accumulated within the past year. So I have been looking through them just so I'm not going overboard this year with them. So I wanted to do this video because of that, and I ended up finding a lot of great fall eyeshadow palettes from the drugstore and from other brands that I've purchased online or from Ulta. So there's going to be no, high-end makeup obviously in this video or in this channel really, because I don't own any high-end makeup, and even if I do, it's gifted by someone else or something like that. So yeah, let's just get started without me rambling too much. The first eyeshadow palette that I have to talk about, or like the first brand I should say, is Wet n Wild. This is the older packaging that I have. If you guys are familiar with Wet n Wild, you probably know that this used to be an older packaging and now they just came out with this one. So I don't know how different they necessarily are. I haven't really tested them side to side. If you guys want to see a video on that, please just let me know down in the comments below. I'm not going to open this one because I haven't opened this yet, and I probably will later on, but I know that they are pretty good because this was one of the first brands that I ever purchased from the drugstore when I first started makeup. And this is like a newer palette that I have. My older one was so beaten up, I ended up getting a newer one. So the colors, as you can tell, let me just open this one, obviously is very fall themed with the greens and the maroon, or not maroon, but like this brown shade over here. I think it's very, very appropriate for the fall time. Leaves are falling, leaves are green, leaves are orange. So I do think this is a great palette for the fall time. Talking about Wet n Wild, I also want to mention some of the other palettes by them, which will come again in the fall category in my opinion. You don't have to agree with me, but I do think that some of these colors are fall appropriate. This one is the Nude Awakening one, and that's what that looks like. I do think this is more of a smoky eyeshadow palette, but definitely something that I would wear more during the fall time because of the maroons and some of the pinks and things. So if you like more purplish, or I shouldn't say purple, but like more maroon and pink shades, I think you would like this one as well. And then I have this one, which is also a dupe for the Modern Renaissance palette by ABH, and this is Rosé in the Air. That's what that one looks like. I think this is a great eyeshadow alternative for high-end makeup because Wet n Wild never disappoints me with their eyeshadows. And yeah, I think this would be a great one if you're wanting the Modern Renaissance but are not able to afford it or don't want to spend the money on it. Talking of Wet n Wild, I also have a sister company to talk about, which is Black Radiance. I'm pretty sure they're owned by the same company because I mean, look at the packaging, that's almost the same, at least the older. It's the same thing, as you can tell. The only difference is this one says Wet n Wild and this one says Black Radiance. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I wanted to mention this one because this is also very fall appropriate because of the purple theme going on, and also this shade right here, I think that's also very fall. So I do like this one. I haven't been using this one that much because I have some other eyeshadow palettes that are larger and have a little bit more variety, but I do think if you're looking for another alternative for high-end makeup, I think this would be good. I'm not sure if they still sell this. I haven't seen it in a while, but because Black Radiance is not always in every single Walmart. I have seen them at Walmart, but I feel like they're mainly carried by Walmarts, which have more of a diverse population, because Black Radiance is directed to women of color. So if you have more diversity in your neighborhood, you probably will see this company. So I would highly recommend it if you guys can find it. I'm not quite sure if you will be able to or not. So Okay, the next eyeshadow palettes that I want to talk about, or the brand that I want to talk about, is Makeup Revolution. Obviously, Makeup Revolution is no surprise for a lot of people on my channel because I do have a lot of Makeup Revolution palettes, and basically they have a lot of dupes for high-end makeup, so I end up getting it for that reason too. And they do have some originals of their own. I don't own a lot of the original palettes, but I've seen them in the store and stuff, and they're pretty good quality as well. So this is the Neutrals versus the Neutrals palette. That's what that looks like. Again, some of these colors over here are screaming fall to me, as you can tell. And this one especially over here, they are it's more of a smoky part. Like this section is more smoky, I think, but I do think this is a great palette for the fall time, and I do think a lot of people would enjoy it. So that is that for Makeup Revolution. Let's make some space here. Okay, the next one, which is a new purchase in my collection, is the Soap X Revolution Extra Spice palette. This is not by, I guess it does say, I thought it was, so Makeup Revolution, there's I Heart Makeup Revolution and then Makeup Revolution. I think that is how it is, but I'm not quite sure, so don't quote me on it. But basically they're all sister companies, and they're all sold at one website from the UK, because it is a UK brand. And this is the Soap X Extra Spice. I've seen on YouTube that there's another one that she came out with, which was her original one. I don't have that one, so this one is a little bit different than the original Sophie palette or Soap X palette. And this is the Extra Spice one, and this one is a dupe for the Gingerbread Spice, you guys. And some of the names are super duper cute, like Running Late, Cheesecake, Cookie Dough, like, and Chocolate Orange. Like, I like the names on this one, and I do think this is a great alternative for you if you want the Too Faced Ginger Spice, which I think it already came out, and that's kind of why I got this one, is because this is like an exact dupe for that one. And Makeup Revolution, we all know they make so many different dupes, so I would highly recommend that one for that reason. I'm sorry that I'm not doing a lot of swatches, you guys. I just don't, I feel like if you guys want to see the application of these eyeshadows, like I can do like get ready with me with these eyeshadows instead of doing swatches on hand. So I think that would be a little bit more beneficial in my personal opinion. Now I have a couple of eyeshadow palettes from Bad Habit, and if you're not familiar with Bad Habit, you can find them at Shop Hush. I love Shop Hush. Shop Hush has a lot of good quality makeup, especially by the brand called Bad Habit. They make dupes, but they are pretty good quality, pretty good packaging in my opinion. Some of the other brands I've had misses with, but with Bad Habit it's pretty much been a pretty good experience. So this one is the Royals palette, again with the reds, or sorry, the magenta colors. It just reminds me of fall, and this is the dupe for the Modern Renaissance. So I think the Wet n Wild one, which I'm trying to get out here, I feel like the Wet n Wild one is missing some of the shades from Modern Renaissance, but it's still a pretty close dupe. So I want to show you guys like side by side. As you can tell, the shades are pretty similar, so I don't think you need both of them, but if you want like an exact ditto dupe, then you would probably want to check this one out. I could do a comparison video side to side if you guys want to see that, but I do think both are pretty great. I love them. You don't have to love them, so it's just up to you guys, whatever you guys want to try. But the Wet n Wild one is definitely cheaper than the Royals one. So this one is the Inferno palette, again by Bad Habit. It is the dupe for the Naked Heat palette. That's what that kind of looks like. I do really like it. As you can see, I have used it up quite a lot. And I also want the dupe for the Naked Cherry palette, which just came out. I just don't know if Shop Hush or any other company has come out with a dupe for it. I think it's gonna take a little bit of time, but I have my eyes out for the dupe because you guys, if you have been on my channel, you probably know that I am a huge dupe fanatic. So yeah, that was Bad Habit. And then I have a couple of single brands to talk about, and this one is the Revealed 2 palette by Coastal Scents. This is a much older palette, but you can still find it. I think these color ranges are awesome, and this is again a dupe for the Naked 3, I believe. Yeah, Naked 3 is the pink one. So I do like this. This is not the eyeshadow palette that I have on today, or the eyeshadows that I have on today, but I do think this is pretty good, and for the price, you're getting a lot of eyeshadows in there, so I do think you guys should check it out. So the eyeshadow palette that I'm, wow. Okay, so the eyeshadow palette that I have on my eyes today is this Burgundy Bar by Maybelline. This is something that I purchased yesterday actually, and I do really like it. The colors that I'm wearing today are this one and these two. So I do really like it. I think it's screaming fall. Definitely the colors, the maroons, the golds, they're definitely reminding me of fall. So I do like it for that reason, and I would highly recommend it. It is a little bit pricier than the Wet n Wild ones. It is $10, but it's still pretty good, I think. And I think the other Maybelline ones, like other Maybelline eyeshadows that they came out with, are not as good as this one. So Maybelline with their eyeshadow, it is a hit or a miss. So that is something to keep your eyes out for. The next smaller eyeshadow palette that I have for you guys is the Spice Up Your Life by Essence. Now this is my first eyeshadow palette from Essence. I don't own a lot of Essence eyeshadow palettes. I do have some other makeup items from them, which I do dearly love. So I do really like this one. I haven't had it for a super long time. If you guys have watched my other haul video, you probably saw that I hauled it in that particular video, but I do like it. And I so far what I've used a couple of shades like this one, that one, and again this is a dupe for the Too Faced Ginger Spice eyeshadow palette. So if you are looking for another alternative for that one, I would highly recommend it for that reason. And the Sophie one I think has more colors in it. I think it has 18. I don't know how many these this one has. Let's see, 1 2 3 4. So this one has 16. So the Soapy one has 18, I think. So you don't need both. I just, for the purpose of YouTube and like me just being me, I just ended up buying 2 of them. Okay, the next palette is something that I haven't used yet, but I know that they are pretty good because I have had previous eyeshadows from them before, and this is the Sienna's palette. I do think the colors, okay, I didn't do the best swatch, but the colors are pretty pigmented, and I've had really good experience with Profusion before in terms of a lot of their, not just their eyeshadows, even their highlighters and stuff, they're pretty good too. So I would highly recommend it. It does come with a really nice brush too, and this was only 10 bucks, you guys. So if you're looking for a really nice fall / Christmas even, I feel like you could use this during Christmas time, some of the golds. So I would highly recommend it for that reason. I think it's like a super pretty palette. Okay, now the last brand that I want to mention from my collection is obviously Morphe. I know there's a lot of like controversy with Morphe palettes, but I think it's more to do with, actually there's been controversy with the company itself and also Jaclyn Hill, but I don't have the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I still like Morphe. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, some people really hate on them, and I'm like, okay, everyone is entitled to their opinion, so I don't want to, talk bad about them, but I really like them. So I have 3 palettes from Morphe to talk about. This one is the 25B Bronzed Mocha. I have done a get ready with me with this palette. It's a very beautiful palette, as you can tell. Really nice colors. I've used, I don't know if you guys can tell now, but I've used these two colors quite a bit for my eyeshadow looks. I would highly recommend it if you want like a nude eyeshadow palette and also like some browns and other fun colors too, like in the burgundy category, I guess, you know. So it has both, like it has some really good neutral shades and then really darker shades as well. So I also have the 35F palette. Now this is the definition of fall. I mean, look at that. This is screaming fall. Like there's just no way I could not mention this one. I don't know if I said that correctly, but you know what I mean. So I do think this is like a hands down best fall eyeshadow palette like ever created in history. So as you can tell, like a lot of the colors are just screaming fall, so I do like it for that reason. Now if you want more of a brighter fall eyeshadow palette, I would highly recommend this one. This is one for all of those ladies out there who love oranges, and this palette is the 3502. The packaging is the same. The only difference between these two is the logo on it, and this one is a little tiny bit, no, it's the same size. Anyways, I do think this is the newer this is the newer logo that they're using now. They don't use the older logo anymore. But I do think this is a great palette, and I do think this is a great company. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I do like my Morphe eyeshadows. So Morphe, Makeup Revolution, and Wet n Wild, and Bad Habit. And yeah, I think these companies, like, I really like their eyeshadows, and they happen to be the largest in my collection too in terms of eyeshadows. So I hope this video was helpful to you guys. Hopefully it's not too long. I'm gonna do quite a bit of editing later on whenever I have time, but right now I have to head to the library to do some more nursing studying. So I hope you like this. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you want to see a get ready with me with any of these eyeshadow palettes, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye bye.